there have been some people that literally paid $25,000 to get like a 5-star gem. And for the record, you're the problem. Sorry. Up next on the show, we have a soapbox, and the subject of the soapbox is that mobile games might be lucrative, but that doesn't make them good. Recently, I had seen an article that was actually about Call of Duty Mobile. You might have heard of that, Alex. And
once or twice.
Yeah. Originally released in 2019, and earlier this year, they had posted that since its launch, it had made $1.5 billion with a B dollars in microtransaction sales.
Boy, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money considering that it's only been out for a few years. That's a good chunk of change. Of course, the more recent mobile debacle of sorts has been Diablo Immortal, which has still, in the first 2 weeks that it was out, reportedly made something along the lines of $24 million.
It's a nice chunk of change for first couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
For a free-to-play game.
I wouldn't snub that. I wouldn't snub that. Ultimately, this is the reason why mobile games are such a large section of the gaming market now, is just because they make a lot of money, even if the games are technically free.
Yeah.
And that's great. They are indeed lucrative, but I wanted to make it clear that that does not in any way make them good as games. I don't know how many mobile games you have tried or played, or...
I don't.
Yeah. It's probably the smart thing to do.
I don't. The last mobile game I played on my phone was Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And technically it's still installed on my phone, but I haven't played it in like over 2 years, 3 years.
I have not played it for a while. It's just in fits and spurts, and usually when like the nieces come over, they want to catch Pokemon or something. But, you know, not that Pokemon Go has also made a near fortune since its launch, and that's great. The thing about it is, though, I would really love it if, you know, the mobile games could match the amount of money that they make with actually creating a good gaming experience. And I mean, maybe that's just not the kind of market that they're aiming for. I guess they kind of figured that the hardcore gamer kind of group, or even just like the long-term gamers that are used to consoles or PC, might not be playing the same games that a mobile gamer are going to be playing. Not necessarily.
Probably not. Mobile games tend to be more of a casual market.
Yeah.
Typically.
Mm-hmm. And that is that's the reason why they had Diablo Immortal becoming the mobile game that it was, because y'all have phones, right? And but now, see, they did one thing that some folks, Josh Strife was talking about this on one of his shows, that it might have actually been a mistake to also release it on the PC, because that's ultimately what they did. They made a PC version. Still free, technically, but a PC version. And what that lends itself to is now there's this market that's used to the PC versions of Diablo that they've played for, you know, decades now, that is going to be comparing it directly, where the mobile gaming market may not have. So I did play Diablo Immortal a bit. And I've played now, as I look back on it, every Diablo game.
How unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. Well, there are highs and lows in this thing. There will be an upcoming Titanium Mine about that as well. But in general, what happens is that then I have to compare Immortal to other Diablo games, because you're used to the lore and you're used to the characters. I mean, the character classes themselves that you can play are very close to the classes that you could play in Diablo 3.
Yeah.
You know, there's a Necromancer, and there's what is there? There's the Demon Slayer, and there's a Barbarian. You know, The classics.
Classics. Yeah.
Classics. There's like a paladin too. They like brought the paladin back for this. Good for them.
Oh,
and,
good.
A wizard. Yeah.
The paladin was always fun in Diablo 2.
It is. Yeah. And I think the wizard was the spell casty class specifically.
Yeah,
that they
sorcerer, wizard, whatever.
So yeah, they changed it up a little bit. But anyway, a lot of the classics coming back. When I first got into it though, I started to realize that there were a few problems. One, it definitely is built for mobile. Like, PC was an afterthought. The way it's laid out, the limited number of abilities that you can actually key on, the floatiness of using a controller. It's if you want to do like a directional spell and you're using the controller, they want you to like hold down a button and then use your thumbstick to direct it and then release the buttons in order to do it. It's just not very useful. I found myself going back to the mouse and keyboard because
I've played some twin stick shooters that do that for abilities, and it can be okay.
Yeah.
But it's not generally my preferred style of playing those games.
Yeah, and I found it very difficult to actually implement while I was playing. Ultimately, I went back to the keyboard and the mouse, and it felt a little bit better. You're just basically at that point pointing and clicking to where you want to go or what you want to smite. I thought I was going to have a little bit of fun. I was still playing the Necromancer, and that should automatically make this a win. I found it a little bit odd that I could only have, like, 2 skeletons at the outset, and there wasn't, like, an upgrading tree for that ability. And this kind of came into the whole having to streamline things because it's a mobile game, essentially, where they didn't want to get too deep into the weeds with character design or development. And as you level up, which happens very, very fast, especially at the beginning, you're just like automatically unlocking spells and abilities and upgrades without even really having time to process that you're doing it. I was like, in the first 15 minutes, I was level like 7, I think. And I went in and it's like, I don't even know what I got for those 7 levels, really. I guess I unlocked some spells. And so I looked, and yeah, you've unlocked a couple spells, you want to hotkey them, and also, oh, this thing that you had where you raise the dead, that's now like level 4. How to get to level 4? I don't even know what that does. Is it good? Maybe. Just in general, a very bare bones experience that didn't feel very customized, and mostly just the go to this place, kill this thing, go back to town, tell the quest giver that you killed it, and now we're going to take you to the next place. And you can even auto-run from one location to another if you want to avoid it. In the meantime, there's a bunch of other people running around also doing quests. I don't know if you can do it as a single-player experience. I didn't see the options for it, so... Yeah, don't you love the idea of just running around and just other people are smiting in the meantime? The demons?
No.
Yeah. The problem, of course, becomes that I have to then look at it in terms of what it was doing compared to other Diablo games. And other Diablo games have a much more interesting design development and personal experience. And even, a multiplayer experience where you can team up and do all of that. And so, felt kind of flat. Visuals, fine, good, and everything like that. But I think maybe just because of the nature of mobile games having to lend themselves to a more simplistic framework, they had to really reduce down the gaming experience to a very bare bones level. And I didn't really appreciate that. Luckily, I didn't get too much into the loot boxes and anything like that. It does become pretty prevalent. They offer like like for just $1 you can get this starter pack, the way they hook you in. I did not take that offer, but it did come in probably the first hour.
Of course, I heard it was very predatory with its monetization, so. And
it makes it very clear right up at the front. There's been some auto rollers where they were trying to predict how much it was going to cost, and yeah, it will probably cost you thousands on average, if you want to get like a 5-star gem, there have been some people that literally paid $25,000 to get like a 5-star gem. And for the record, you're the problem. Sorry, you're the problem. You're the reason they keep making these. So I guess my upshot to all of this is I just want, I don't mind having a mobile market. I understand the reason why. I understand that it makes a lot of money, but my God, folks, can you use some of that money to make a better game? Can you just use it to make a better gaming experience? If you got $24 million in the first 2 weeks, make something with that. Do something with it.
Here's the issue. If you can make a mobile game that makes that much money, what's the point of making good games if all you're doing is making money?
Therein lies the real issue, isn't there? Like, they're gonna just keep making those games, and they're not gonna make the actual, like, AAA or high-quality games, or the ones that actually take a lot of time, because they're not gonna rake in that kind of money. It's been a problem that we've been seeing, and the reason why microtransactions get into even the full tier, like, the console or the PC gaming as well. It started to infest those areas too, because it makes a ton of money. I don't necessarily mind the game companies making money, but I'd like to think that the money that they're making on it would go toward building the game up, Keep the developers working on it, keep them expanding the way the game works and the features that it has and something like that. Now, I have kind of heard that a lot of what they were doing with Diablo Immortal was so that they could have the money and the time so that they could make Diablo 4. I'm a little shaky on that. I keep thinking that what they're really trying to do is see if the model for Diablo Immortal, where they're going to charge a bunch of money and have those different microtransactions and premium currencies, is a test run to see if they want to do it in Diablo 4.
Yeah, I feel like, though, if they do that in Diablo 4, where it's probably going to be a console and PC release and not a mobile game, the market's very different.
The market is going to be very different, and they're still not going to make it that's not going to be a free game. That they're going to charge money for it at the front.
Right.
It's going to be a full release, full price game, I'm sure. So it's going to be a harder sell to say, oh yeah, but we also actually carved out most of the fun parts of the game so that we could sell it back to you later. And the thing that I've noticed in recent days, too, is that after Diablo Immortal didn't work out for me, I sat there and said, oh, well, there's a bunch of things on Steam that are on sale that are Diablo, Diablo-esques, Diablo-likes, the other hack-and-slash games. And recently I've been playing a few of them, and realizing, okay, these are much less expensive than the thousands of dollars you'd have to pay to get a freaking gem. They're not nearly as expensive, and they probably came out a very long time ago, and I'm realizing that for, pound for pound, better overall gaming experiences that offer more content than even the new Immortal.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why one of the games that I've been playing recently again has been Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which I mentioned to you earlier. It's because it's kind of Diablo 2 in space with guns and Warhammer, which are all things I like.
Yeah, exactly.
Granted, I wish they did the Diablo 3 route of having an adventure mode that you can skip the story mode. Because after the first twice, because there's two different morality routes you can do for like your alignment, essentially, either like radical or Puritan, which is very in theme with Warhammer. But after the first two times doing the storyline in one of those ways, it doesn't really warrant me going through the whole story again.
Yeah.
But they do have seasons now. The story is just the quickest way to get experience.
Sure.
Level. So I've been churning that out.
Yeah. And
but still enjoying it. The season's good.
Yeah. I mean, I played a bit of Inquisitor Martyr 2. I have it. And I was like, I like the framework. I like kind of like the run and gun kind of action. And
it's probably gotten better since you played it. Although my friend who worked at the studio is no longer working there because he found a better company to work for.
Fair.
But he did help solve a lot of the balance issues and make the game better.
Sure.
So hopefully it's better than when you last played it, if you ever want to try it again.
Yeah, maybe I'll go back. Maybe it won't be... hopefully they've done some optimization, because it took a long time to get into the game.
Well, you've also gotten a new computer.
I have gotten a new computer. I was playing it on Xbox. I wonder if the Xbox version is
just play it on computer.
I'll have to buy it again, probably.
It goes on sale frequently for cheap.
Okay, good. However, the ones that I did end up buying, I haven't gotten that one. There was one that I got that was just a little indie game that I think was made by, like, 2 people. But it was called Rum and Gun. And it's literally a pirate-themed, like, hack-and-slash top-down ARPG.
Perfect.
You get a blunderbuss, you get a sword, and you even get a fiddle so that you can do what we do with the Drunken Sailor to, like, regenerate your hit points and stuff like that, and you're dealing with giant crabs and stuff. I was like, this is kind of cute. This is kind of fun, actually. But more recently, though, I had also gotten Grim Dawn, which I haven't gotten around to playing yet.
I have Grim Dawn.
Yeah, I had seen that. Yeah,
it's a game I would like to like, but it's not. I don't find it very engaging.
Yeah,
like the gameplay is fine. I've played 72 hours of it. The gameplay is fine. The story does not draw me in at all. The lore means nothing to me.
Sure.
So it's not. I can't invest into it.
I get you.
Despite the 72 hours, it's like. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the story? Where am I supposed to go? Why does any of this matter? I go in to murder things once in a while. Sure. The systems are okay. They're neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
I wanted to try it because it is one of the generally more recent Diablo kind of games that have come out, because I think it's 2016.
I think you'll enjoy the systems and the subsystems.
Good.
I think you'll probably think the same as me. The story, maybe, I don't know.
Sure.
You'll probably enjoy the class system though, and the skill system.
Okay. The other one though that I have actually been playing the last couple days is Titan Quest, and I had tried that briefly, once upon a time. But I really liked it, and I did get I think it's the Ragnarok and the Atlantis expansions. And the neat thing about that is, that starts you off pretty bare bones. You don't really have a class at the beginning, and then you choose masteries that you can lay on top of that after you've started. But it's neat just from a general setting. I think it's from the same people that created, like, Age of Empires and Age of Mythology.
Got you.
But, something where you can actually fight, mythic creatures and eventually fight gods through, like, Greece and Egypt and all
gods or titans?
Some are the titans, and I think some are, like, demigods and stuff like that.
Perfect.
But I think Typhon, and in Atlantis, I think there's actually Tiamat is even one of the bosses that you fight. So they've got some interesting characters that come into that. I think Sharon, Medusa, there's a lot of mythological creatures, and I like that kind of setting anyway. So right now I think I'm just at the Battle of Athens, which is great. Of course, they also have mods for that one. Some of them are pretty neat. And some of them will let you just play as some of the Titans. So that's fun if you ever just wanted to be Typhon and just smash around. They got you covered. But at any rate, when I can buy those games for like $6 or $7, and it would I probably wouldn't even get a decent gem for that kind of money, or buy the kind of premium currency as I might want in a Diablo Immortal. I don't really think that the PC launch has really helped, because I think it opened them up for far more criticism than anything else.
Yeah, definitely.
If it was just on mobile, most like gaming news outlets probably wouldn't have spent much time picking it apart. But maybe it's a good thing that they did, though. because it's good that we know that streamers were able to look at it and pick it apart and see exactly how predatory the marketing is.
Yeah.
But I think we just kind of bog ourselves down in that and don't talk about the fact that the game itself is not very good by comparison. So, yeah, I get it. It's lucrative, guys, but come on. Make a better game with that money. Seriously.